The record reflect that this meeting was posted as required by the Texas Open Meetings Act, and we do have a quorum tonight. So at this time, I'd like to ask everybody to take a second. We're going to do a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay, thank you all very much. At this time, I'd like to call on Shane Stroobhart on our Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our Pledge of Allegiance is going to be led by the Harlingen High School cadets.
Color guard.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
All right. The next item on our agenda will be the recognition of HCISD students who will be joining the U.S. military. Mr. Stroobhart.
Thank you, Mr. President, trustees, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. Tonight, we are recognizing 51 students from Harlingen High School South, Early College High School, and Harlingen School of Health Professions for their decision to enlist in the United States military. After making their mark at HCISD, these students are embarking on the next chapter in their lives with a sense of duty and service. The significance of this decision does not go unnoticed, as it will undoubtedly be challenging, rewarding, and an exciting experience for each one of these students. This nation is the land of opportunity and freedom because our nation's armed forces help make it so. So tonight, we thank and honor these young men and women for their commitment to this honorable pursuit. Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, will y'all come forward to help us recognize these students? We'll start with the students enlisting in the United States Army. Unable to join us tonight, most of these students, or a lot of these students, are already enlisted and in boot camp. So I will call out their names. Adrian Arivalo. He is unable to join us tonight. Kristen Cantu. Joel Claudio. Unable to join us is Jonah Dutter. Nadia Flores. Unable to join us, Ryan Flores. Solomon Lovato. Patrick Sadi. Those students from Harlingen High School, moving on to Harlingen High School South, unable to join us, Thomas Finley. Christian Garza. Nathaniel Guerrero. Unable to join us, Carlos Martinez. Anicia Montes. Eduardo Muro. Ismael Roman. Unable to join us, Pedro Zerato. We're also going to recognize the students that are joining the U.S. Army Reserve, starting with Harlingen High School. Crystal Oliveres. Ricardo Gonzalez. Jacqueline Uribe. Marissa Mendez. Noah Mendoza. Teresa Sauceda. And Hunter Whittonet. I'd like to ask a U.S. Army recruiter Sergeant Torres and Staff Sergeant Galleta to come forward for a group photo with the board, as well as our teachers from ROTC. If you're in the room, would you please join us? Students, can you get y'all over here? We're not students anymore. All right. All right, thank you guys. Y'all maybe take a seat. Trustees, y'all want to stay up for the next groups? Yeah. All right, now moving on to the United States Air Force. From Harlingen High School South, Angel Molina. All right. Jared Gonzalez. Not able to join us, okay? They probably flew off already. All right. Now we're moving on to the U.S. Marines. From Harlingen High School, Connor Ermel. Patricia Cribbs. Unable to join us, Michael Medina. Jesus Rodriguez. Joseph Rodriguez. Ramey Aldridge. Unable to join us, Emilio de la Peña. Christian de los Santos. Alesei Garcia. Serena Gonzalez. Christopher Ramirez. Xavier Matakin. Mbanti Wanzer. At this time, I'd like to invite Sergeant Kennedy from the U.S. Marines to come and join us for a group photo. Yes, sir. George, take that last photo. Make sure it's okay. Flash didn't go up. Oh, okay, he turned it off. All right, thank you guys. Now moving on to the United States Navy. From Harlingen High School, Brandy Alvarez. Brandy. Ricardo De Leon, unable to join us this evening. Also unable to join us, Luis Delgado. Eric Garza. Alyssa Gomez. Uziel Sosa. Unable to join us, Alan James. Moving on to South students, unable to join us, Shelbin Diaz. Also unable to join us, Braulio Gaitan. Also unable to join us, but I believe her mom might be in the audience, Jalen Rivera. Mom here? No? Mom, Melissa Ramirez? Okay. And from Early College High School, Tyler Marakin. And for the first time, this is a first for Harlingen School of Health Profession, their first military enlistee, Axel Iracheta. We also have one U.S. Coast Guard enlistee from Harlingen High School, Genesis Ibarra. At this time, I'd like to invite Petty Officer Juan De Leon to please join us for a group photo. All right, cool. Can we get you all down here? Okay, everyone, look at George real quick. Left side. Okay, before everybody moves, if you are a parent of one of these outstanding students, would you please stand so we can recognize you for raising great kids? No. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Be glad to wear my high steppers. I know that several of the board members would like to make some comments, but I'd like to start off by saying I really admire you kids. You're not kids, you're young women and young men, and I want to thank you so much for volunteering to serve our country. and to defend our country and our values. I can't think of a more honorable and distinguished career than serving in the military. And I know that you all have a great future ahead of you. I mean, the military offers you so many opportunities to basically do anything you want to do, whether you want to be a doctor like Dr. Pettis, or a physicist, or anything. I mean, it's all there. And but I just think it's a wonderful, wonderful career. And it's such a bright and outstanding group of kids, or young men and young women that you guys have, recruiters. I compliment you because, and we're in good hands in the future. And thank you again for serving us. Mr. Hymas?
Mr. President, thank you. I just, every month we get together here for our regular board meetings, and we recognize students, students like these young ones here in front in elementary and middle school and junior high. And that's how we see them. We see them as students, as our students, as our children. I didn't see that today. I saw men and women from Harlingen that are stepping up to serve this country. I saw men and women that are showing their bravery through their service, that are answering a call that most of us didn't answer, and most of us appreciate those that do, whether it's these students or any other veterans that are in our audience today. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We have some students back there who we have one of the best, if not the best, drama department in the state of Texas. We all have different callings and different passions, and they're all worthy of being recognized, and they're all sources of pride for us, board members, for Dr. Cavazos, his senior team, for our school district, and for our community. And today, to be able to recognize you, men and women that are gonna serve our country and represent Harlingen, around the world, really. It's an honor for me to sit up here and to say thank you, for answering that call, because, like I said, we see students here every month, but today we see men and women who are brave, and you're showing that, and we can't thank you enough. We're all gonna thank you, and we're all gonna thank you when we see you again. We can't thank you enough. We can't thank the parents enough. The parents, I'm sure it's hard for you letting them go, but we thank you probably more than them, because you're the ones that are making just as big as a sacrifice. So again, thank you, and stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Mr. President, if I
Yes,
could,
please.
so as a Navy veteran myself, I don't know if these are on or not. Maybe not. Can you hear it?
Is it microphone?
Is it on? Sorry. Thank you. So as a Navy veteran, I gives me great pride to see so many of our bright young individuals here in Harlingen, doing well academically here and doing well in school, and then choosing to serve in the military. So it's just a very proud moment for us. Thank you for being here. I know some couldn't; they're already in, off to work, right? So, but I if you look around in the country right now, all the problems we have. Not only in the state of Texas, but just all over. Think about for a second what a different world this would be like if every young man and woman had the character that y'all have, and the sort of sense of duty and service to this country. I think we used to have a situation where civil service, and some countries have that civil service, but think about what a better situation we'd be in America if we had that, and so it gives me great pride and hope for our future that we have individuals like yourself that are willing to serve. I want y'all to remember a few things, and just to sort of tag along what my colleagues said, the opportunities that y'all have are limitless, right? So I went in during medical school and became a physician, but I can't tell you the number of doors and opportunities that were afforded to me, and doors that are open for me because I chose to serve in the Navy. And I will tell you that whatever your MOS is, as if you're an Army, whatever your rating is, if you're in the Navy, whatever your job occupation is, you will have the opportunity to change jobs. You will have the opportunity to continue your education time and time again and do just some amazing things that you couldn't do in any other walk or sector of life. And I can tell you that I think you chose wisely, but don't think that you settled for anything less. A lot of people will say, oh, you're not going to college. Let me tell you something. You go out there and you prove people that the sky's the limit. And you use your military service in a way that'll catapult you to just limitless possibilities from an education standpoint, from a job standpoint, and you will do amazing things, not only for your service, not only for your branch in the military, but to protect this country. And then in the future, I guarantee you, trust me on this, you know, there's a lot of friends out there that they have a second job. They're professionals making an amazing contribution still in their communities. And, you know, you talk to somebody and you meet them every day. They're like, oh, yeah, I'm retired Army. I mean, and they're getting that income, that retirement pay after they served a distinguished career in the Army or the Navy or whatever. And so just think about, I just want you all to just open your mind up and think about it. This is not just about one little, your first MOS or your first rating in the Navy. It's much more than that. And the opportunities are just limitless. So we're really proud of you. You reflect the best in Harlingen, in the Rio Grande Valley, and wear that, you know, Harlingen, HCISD pin with pride. You know, tell people you're from Harlingen. Tell people you're from the Rio Grande Valley. Don't shy away from that. You're from Texas, and you will reflect great credit on your families and on us here in HCISD, and of course Rio Grande Valley in Texas. And I also want to tell you this, something about your families. You guys have chosen, think about it. You're going to be away from your families for some time, right? And going in the future when you serve, you're going to be serving in all parts of the world that you can't tell people about and doing things that you can't tell people about. And that takes time away from your family. So as much as you can, connect with your family, stay connected with your family, talk to them, and just realize that you serve because they let you serve and they support you, just like we all support you. And so I encourage the audience here, when you see folks wearing uniform, when you're traveling in the planes or driving, please tell them thank you for your service. And your response, just if you don't know, is thank you for your support. So you will be the ones we thank as we're wearing the uniform. I think we should all do that and thank our people that serve. And again, I really thank you for your decision to serve. We're really, really proud of you. And go out there and keep us safe. God bless you. Thanks.
I too wanted to add my congratulations to you for the incredible choice that you have made and for the incredible opportunities that now will be coming your way. I'm the daughter of a career military man. He was in the Marines and in the Air Force, and I understand firsthand not only the sacrifice that you are making, but also the support that you will get from your families and the love that you will receive and the pride that you have and will bring to your families and your community. I feel like HCISD has prepared you so well as a district of choice. That really echoes the theme that you now will be facing in your military career. You will have incredible choices, and I just encourage you to look at the choices as they come at you, to choose those that keep opening up doors for you and keep giving you the widest opportunities. One of the things that you will be crafted into quickly is being a leader. You will know how to lead, how to inspire others to follow you. And what's beautiful about that is you're going to take that throughout your career, whatever the choices are. People go through life not knowing how to be leaders, but you all will be leaders. And we thank you for that and commend you on your choice. Congratulations.
Dr. Cavazos?
So finally, not to repeat everything that the board said, but certainly to add to it, I want to thank you on behalf of the school district and as your superintendent of schools. Just a few days ago, we were giving you your diploma, and you've matured so much in the last few days as you prepare to go on your next journey. We talk about the importance of keeping your moral compass in check. I have no doubt that you're right on that path. Thank you for answering the call. To Mr. Jaimes' point, a lot of us didn't. We didn't choose that, but we honor those that have. And so I want to thank you on behalf of the school district and our entire community for doing the great things and going out there and advancing our HCISD brand. Now, They're going to ask you where you're from, and you're going to say Harlingen. They're going to say Arlington, and you're going to say no, South Padre Island. And so with pride, say you're from Harlingen, because you have a lot to be proud of. And just know that a little bit of our hearts go with you as you go all over the country and all over the world, and you'll always be in our thoughts and prayers. Don't forget us, because we're not going to forget you. Thank you for serving.
Thank you, Dr. Cavazos. Okay, the next item on our agenda tonight, put my glasses on, is the recognition of students qualifying for the National Speech and Debate Association High School Finals in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, on June the 16th through the 23rd. Ms. Leanne Hintz, and gentlemen, if you all want to leave, we'd love to have you stay, but if you want to leave, you're free to go. So we really, really, again, appreciate you coming tonight. Thank you.
They've matured so much in a few days.
Yeah, because otherwise it'd be awkward for them, the whole time. Yeah.
Mrs. Ince, how are you tonight?
Well, just fine. How are you?
The all-star here.
Thank you. Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, trustees, and administrative team, it's my honor and privilege to recognize students from Harlingen High School and Harlingen High School South that qualified for the National Speech and Debate Association National Tournament that's going to be held June 16th through the 23rd. And at this time, if Dr. Cavazos and the president would like to come down, we will recognize those students.
I move approval. Oh, sorry, it's not
Moving right along.
no te enojes, no te enojes, sorry.
World Schools Debate, Ramiro Gonzalez. His partner, Christian Villarreal, could not be here, but we will recognize him as well. Chris Smith in informative speaking. He's still, I think, touring UT right now. He's at orientation, so he could not be with us. Also, we'll give him an applause. In U.S. extemporaneous speaking, Lucero Sauceda, who could not be with us, and Josh Delgado, who could not be with us. In duo interpretation, I believe we have Natalie Perez with us. Her partner is John Duncan, who is out of town. In dramatic interpretation, Miss Lauren Ponce. And from Harlingen High School, in congressional debate, we have Grant Burbach. And in program oral interpretation, Mr. James Gracia. I want to point out something special about Mr. Burbach and Mr. Gracia, if they would step forward. At this year's national tournament, which, by the way, is the largest academic competition in the nation, step forward. I'm going to talk a little bit about you. They will be recognized with only 56, I believed, I counted, the tournament book is already out, as 4-year national qualifiers. Let me tell you how hard that is to do. Since 1993, since Harlingen High School South has been a chapter, we've had one that was a 4-year qualifier, and that was Cara Topangan, if you remember her, in 2010, who's now a dentist. And James Gracia will be the second from Harlingen High School South to receive that honor at the national tournament. And Mr. Burbach is setting all kinds of records by being the first student ever from Harlingen High School to be a 4-time national qualifier. He also will be recognized with those 56 other students from all across the country, and they get a beautiful award. I think you even get some money. I'm not positive. But yeah, so really, really amazing. And that just means they qualify their freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. And as these will tell you, Natalie is going into, step forward, you're going into your junior year, so she was a sophomore, and Lauren's a sophomore, and Romero is going into his senior year. So very proud of these young men and women, and they're going to represent us well. But I would like to bring up their amazing coaches. I think you might remember these celebrities. Mrs. Julia Wise and Mrs. Megan Conley. They get the privilege, as well as I do, spending 8 days with these wonderful, wonderful students, and we could not be more proud. So if y'all would like to take a picture.
Okay, everybody, look at George here first.
Nolan, you stood up.
I did. I stood up. I want to make a motion.
Do you want to say something?
Sure.
Eladio, you want to?
Hey.
Dr. Pettis would like to say something. Don't run off, everybody.
Don't
Hold
run-
on.
yeah.
Oh, Natalie, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
This is the only. This
This
is the only time I have her undivided attention, so I'm going to take full advantage.
Clean your room. Oh, no.
So I'll take full advantage. So the comments may be to everybody, but certainly they're from my daughter. No, anyway. No, just briefly, I tell you what, it's just this district is really blessed with amazing talent. And, you know, when you think of all the different extracurricular activities that you can be a part of, and there are many, that add value academically, that add value from a character standpoint, that add value in the 4 C's that we talk so much about, and that add just value in terms of life skills. But, you know, you think about, you know, the teams, the speech and debate teams, and of course the other amazing things they do with their one act play and all the different performances they do, but certainly the team activities. I just gives me great pride that we have our best students that always step forward and participate, because you certainly put this district on the map, year after year. And I can't tell you how you're going to look back on this, trust me on this, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and you're going to realize that it was this, particular activity that really not only added to your skill set and the 4 C's and everything else that are going to help you in your college and next steps in your career, but also are going to sort of lead to much bigger things in life. I've told this before to many different audiences, but when I was your age, so you look at me here and you're like, oh, this is Dr. Perez, school board member, physician, yada yada yada. Let me tell you something. You kids, and I'm talking to you too, Natalie, you kids are well ahead of where I was your age. I mean, there's no doubt, right? I mean, I can speak in front of a crowd now, still get nervous, still get jittery, still have no idea sometimes what I'm going to say, including right now. But anyway, the most important thing is to be authentic, to be yourself, and to be real. And I can tell you that you kids are amazing. I could never in a million years have done what you do now when I was your age. And I can assure you, probably goes true for probably everybody on this dais, okay? And so for you all to be doing this right now at this stage are just, really giving you life skills that you're going to use, and they're going to help you catapult you into many different choices, career choices, and open doors for you. And so keep doing what you're doing. Don't forget, it's life is just, it's all about becoming a continuous learner, right? It's just a self-learner, and just keep learning more skills, learning more things, and you're going to do, the sky's the limit. So we're proud of y'all. I know you guys are going off, some of you graduating, going off different places. Don't forget to keep in touch with us. We love seeing you guys. Some of you are connected to some of us on Facebook. We love reading about what you're doing and seeing what you're doing. Just remember that you make us very proud. You reflect great credit on your families, on this school district, and we're just proud of you. So go out there to the Nationals and make sure that everybody knows who Harlingen is, please. Thank you. Congratulations.
Mr. Hymas?
I'm gonna make it quick because I know some of y'all want to run, but I'm gonna, when I was in high school, I was in ROTC for about a year. I was also in the theater. I also took a theater arts class. I didn't follow through with those specific areas, but those were areas that were of interest to me. I didn't have maybe the direction at home, or my parents weren't educated. They didn't prioritize certain things with me. They worked. They made sure we had food and a roof over our head. So when I see this group, when I see that group, and any other group of students, of our students that are so dedicated and passionate, whether it's music, athletics, science, engineering, anything, it makes me proud to represent you guys and to sit up here and fight for you guys when it comes to getting you the resources you need and getting your instructors the resources they need to be successful. So I just want to reiterate what Dr. Perez said as far as, you guys are way ahead of where I was, And I'm a little bit younger than Dr. Perez, so.
Not much, okay? No.
But you guys are way ahead, I've seen James act now for a couple of years, and I mean, what you do on stage is amazing, man. And, I'm really, excuse me, when I took that selfie, when I took that photo, I just took it because one day I want to say that.
And I knew James.
Yeah, I do. I really do. I can't wait to post it on social media. I did that a few years ago when I was covering Jordan Spieth, the golfer, at a state tournament. And now he's a U.S. Open champ, a Masters champ. And it's just one of those things that you take pride in being in that moment and just having fun with it. Grant, I'm going to tell you what I told Nathan Ramon when I handed him his diploma last week. When you're ready to run, I want to be on your campaign team. And whether it's here for school board or anything else, you guys have a lot of potential, man. And we're really proud of every one of you. So good luck to you all. The seniors, enjoy your next few years because they're going to go by quick, just as quick as your high school years went. And to the rest of you, Natalie, listen to your dad. And all of y'all listen to your parents. So just, have fun, enjoy your summer because August will be here before you know it.
I thought you were going to be brief. I hate going
Nothing
after all
brief.
I hate being the one going after all these guys because they, so eloquent. Anyway, I just want to compliment you. Every year, this department, the speech and drama department, y'all just set the standard, and every year it gets better. And what y'all have done this year, and I don't know how many people in the audience realize it, but these kids are all top students academically. They're not. And they're in the top of their class. The time they spend working on the debate team, the speech competition, and the one-act play. It's incredible. Time demanding, and they all keep their grades right at the top. And I really, really admire you guys. And like Dr. Pettis and Mr. Hyman said, you all have a great, great future ahead of you. And I hope you come back. Grant, I know you want to be superintendent someday. Dr. Cavasso said he can hang on for a few more years. So, and also I want to compliment the staff. Leanne and Ms. Wise, your whole staff is, we are so fortunate because, and I know the group, the students will acknowledge this, that the reason we're at the top, I'm not talking about just in the Valley, I'm talking about in the state of Texas. The reason we're at the top in this department is because of the leadership that Mrs. Ince and her staff provide. And thank you all so much. I hope Dr. Cavazos has you on a long-term contract.
That's right. So I'll be brief, but so they all are actors, right, Leanne? And you keep reminding me. And so as first I want to highlight Grant Burbach because you broke a glass ceiling at Harlingen High School. And so thank you for doing that because you have set the bar and said it is possible. So that's important to us as well. All of you have done some amazing things. We have no doubt that you're going to continue to do amazing things. When Grant walked up, Mr. Powers said, he wants to be the superintendent. And I said, enjoy life, Grant. Don't be in a hurry. And he said, no, actually, I want your job, Mr. Powers. I want to be board member. I said, hurry up. So Grant, I have no doubt you're going to do some amazing things, and everyone else, and Megan and Julia and Leanne, and of course, Mrs. Muniz representing Harlingen High School. Thank you for all you do to support the kids. And thank you for the phenomenal job that you all are doing to advance the HCISD brand. We're really proud of you all.
I think okay. The next item on the agenda is recognition of the Harlingen High School South Engineering Club, who is one of 5 high schools in the nation to be awarded $5,000 grant for their ingenuity in the nationwide Ford STEM High School Community Challenge. Mr. Strubhart.
Thank you, Mr. President, board members, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. The Harlingen South Engineering Club is an organization that Mr. Alejandro Mendez has been leading for the past 2 years, taking them from 5 members when he joined the district to a current 28-member roster. Besides instilling in them values of character, dedication, passion, and service, Mr. Mendez has coached them towards representing HCISD and Harlingen South as a school that leads in the STEM field. These students have been extremely busy this year, having competed in HESTEC's Sea Perch competition, Team America Rocketry Challenge, First FTC Robotics, as well as the National Ford Next Generation Learning STEAM competition. It is in this last event, the National Ford NGL STEAM competition, where the Harlingen South Engineering Club has recently shown what the Harlingen South students are capable of doing. For the second year in a row, out of more than 200 schools nationwide that compete, the Harlingen South Engineering Club has shown that they are among the top 4 in the nation. The competition involved them spending hours of planning and recording of their proposal, which would show how they could solve a community problem using the STEAM principles. Seeing a need for more people to be involved in recycling and helping lower our footprint on our wonderful planet, they proposed a device that would be able to identify when a plastic drinking bottle has been placed in a recycling container, and in return, the user would be able to receive a 10% battery boost for their phone. It is recycling, but with an incentive. This project was visionary as it saw the need for an increase in recycling and the danger of being caught in an emergency with a dead phone. For their great video and their proposal they have called Pick Up and Charge, the Harlingen South Engineering Club has been awarded $5,000 for implementation of their project. Again, for the second year in a row. Let's give them a round of applause.
That's awesome.
Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, would you please come forward to help us recognize these amazing kids? Begin with Jorge Vidales. Christian Posada. Stephanie Torres. Felicity Garcia. Jorge Salinas. Cassandra Salceda. Elia Duran. David Alvarez. Nicholas Ramos. Jacob Summers. I think they're all at boot camp with the military kids. Right? Kobe Salinas. Luis Munoz. Oh. Miguel Vasquez. Yay, Miguel. Salma Torres. Rebecca Russick. Matthew Leha. And Cesar Torres. Thought that was the teacher. And their amazing teacher, Mr. Mendez. Mr. Mendez, come up for the photo. Let's get a photo of Mr. Mendez. Pose over there. I believe we have Mr. Sines here this evening, and trustees, will y'all come down for a group photo? Come on over here, guys. Students, can I get y'all to stand for right here? Congratulations, kids.
Sunburst.
Dr. Reiniger?
Yes, I wanted to just add my congratulations to all of you and recognize the hard work that this takes to win such an award. I'm a research scientist myself, and I understand the idea or the work that goes into forming the idea, but then selling the idea. And that's what it takes to get the attention of a funder like Ford to give you the money now to implement. And not only is it exciting that you had this terrific idea, now have won this award to implement, but with your implementation, your evaluation of the idea, you're going to inspire those who are coming behind you with new ideas, because once you do something, you learn from that. And so it is truly tremendous. I really want to recognize Mr. Mendez for just the work to craft young ideas and put them into place. And I just can't even imagine what's coming next. You're on such a trajectory, and I really want to congratulate you and recognize the hard work. Thank you.
All right, the next item on our agenda is the recognition of Harlingen Sunburst Rotary Club. Mr. Strubhart.
Thank you, Mr. President, trustees, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. Every year, Rotary clubs and their members across the world volunteer their time to make their communities a better place for their citizens. The Harlingen Sunburst Rotary Club is a perfect example of that. Not only has this club given several scholarships to our students this year, Harlingen Sunburst Rotary Club raised money to give away 72 bicycles as part of their Wheels of Learning initiative. Service above self, a core belief shared by all Rotarians, is the driving force behind the creation of the initiative, motivating students to do their best in school. Kids are our future, said Sunburst Rotary President Jake Forbes. Kids will make our community, and anything we can do to make the next group of leadership happen, we're all behind it. Every month this year, the Sunburst Rotary Club donated 2 bikes and 2 helmets to be raffled off at Milam, Jefferson, Wilson, and Dishman Elementary. Students could earn tickets by having good attendance, good grades, and showing leadership on campus. This isn't the first time the Sunburst Rotary Club has helped the students in our community. You may remember their generous donation of funds towards the Lonsey Hill Park all-inclusive playground. This group of outstanding volunteers are true champions for children, and tonight we honor them. Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, would you please come forward to help us recognize the club? Representing Harlingen Sunburst Rotary Club is this year's president, Mr. Jake Forbes. They could do it on social media. They're pretty big on Facebook, so they're probably going to get. They're a fun group. They're a fun group. At this time, I'd like to invite all the trustees. I'd also like to invite, I think we have a couple of principals, Miss Lotta and Miss Todd. I believe y'all are here. Would y'all please come forward? And all of the rest of the Rotary Club members, we all come forward for a group photo. Lunch. Let's go ahead and stand over here, guys. Mr. Forbes, can I get you right in the center here, sir? And then we'll get everybody else.
I want to step back, brother. He never gets to see me this way. Did you bring your parents? Yes, sir.
Wait for you to say something, Greg. Wait for you to say something.
I'd like to make a couple comments. I think it's tremendous what your club does. How many members do y'all have? 32. I mean, your impact on this community is incredible. It really is. I mean, we were there when y'all, when they unveiled the all-inclusive playground, and I mean, y'all were a big part of that, big contributions. And I mean, y'all really make an impact in with our kids and with this town in general. You know, one of the mottos of Rotary is service above self, and I mean, you guys really exemplify that. I mean, your club is really, really tremendous. I really admire y'all for everything you accomplish, and what a great idea that you had with the bikes. I just think it's terrific for these kids. Thank you so much for all you do. I really appreciate it.
Mr. President, may I add just one comment?
Please.
I very briefly, I too just want to commend you, but I also just want to commend you on the thoughtfulness of the incentives that you're picking for the children. So many times we pick incentives that encourage our children not to get outside and play, but yet you're building parks and you're giving away bicycles, and the idea of our children getting out and playing and interacting only inspires their brain to think better and grow. And I just want to commend you on your choices, because there are many, but you're making great ones. So thank you.
All right. We'll move on to our next item, which is approval of minutes. And the first are the minutes for the regular board meeting for May 8th, 2018. Do I have a motion?
Mr. President, I make a motion we approve the minutes for the regular board meeting, May 8th, 2018.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Hymas, seconded by Mr. De Leon. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. The next set of minutes is May 14th, 2018, special board meeting. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the special board meeting minutes for May 14, 2018.
Okay.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Dr. Reiniger and seconded by Mr. Hymas. Is there any discussion, any changes? We'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Public Facility Corporation meeting on May 23rd, 2018. Are there any correction or additions to those minutes?
Mr. President, move approval for the minutes for the Public Facility Corporation meeting held on May 23rd, 2018 as presented.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Pettis, seconded by Mr. De Leon. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. The last set of minutes is the special board meeting, May 23rd, 2018.
Mr. President, I make a motion for approval of the special board meeting on May 23rd, 2018.
Been moved by Mr. De Leon. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Reiniger. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Minutes are approved. Let's see. I'm missing a page.
Public comments.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is public comments. Ms. Brown, do you have any? Okay, thank you. And then we'll move on to agenda item number 5, approval of the consent calendar.
Mr. President, move approval of the consent calendar as presented.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Pettis and seconded by Mr. De Leon. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent calendar is approved. Item number 6 on the agenda is matters related to curriculum and instruction. The first item is the approval of an out-of-state trip for the HCISD high school students to attend the National Speech and Debate Association High School Finals in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on June the 16th through the 23rd, 2018. Mrs. Ince.
Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, trustees, and audience, we would like to ask your permission to attend the NSDA National Finals in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, June 16th through the 23rd.
All right. Do I have a motion?
I will make a motion to approve the out-of-state trip for HCISD high school students to attend the National Speech and Debate Association High School Finals in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, June 16th through the 23rd, 2018.
Second.
All right. I have a motion for Dr. Reiniger and a second by Mr. Hymas. Is there any further discussion or questions? If there's none, then we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Have a great time.
Thank you.
Bring home,
Keep
Proud of
your
you.
phone.
Best
Good
of luck.
Yes, ma'am.
bring home some more hardware. The next item is approval of out-of-state trip for Harlingen High School South students to attend the National Ford NGL Summer Conference in Dearborn, Michigan on June the 26th through the 29th, 2018. Mr. Mendez, how are you tonight, sir?
Dr. Cavazos, President, Board, and audience members in attendance. We would like to request permission for you all for 2 students. It's going to be Christian Posada and Stephanie Torres to attend the Ford NGL National Conference, going to be held in Dearborn, Michigan. The dates of the 26th through the 29th, if I'm not mistaken. We're seeking permission from the board to attend this conference. The students that are attending, just would like to add, would have a great opportunity from talking to members of the Ford community already. Besides them learning a lot of things and working on projects while they're up there, they also will obtain contact information that after their college education, they would actually be presented with opportunities to continue their career with Ford. So it's a great opportunity and seeking permission from the board to attend.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve an out-of-state trip for Harlingen High School South students to attend the National Ford NGL Summer Conference in Dearborn, Michigan on June 26th to the 29th of 2018.
Second the motion.
It's been moved by Mr. Hymas and seconded by Dr. Pettis. Is there any further discussion? If not, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Mr. President, just good luck to Christian and Stephanie. We're proud of y'all, and don't forget they have amazing food in Dearborn and a lot of good stuff. You probably I could probably assure you don't get it to have down here very much. So enjoy the different cultures you'll see when you're there, and enjoy the Ford facilities. It's amazing. And I happen to live in Detroit for 3 years, outside of Detroit for 3 years. Passed by Dearborn every day, going and back and forth, coming from work. So anyway, great area. You'll love it. The suburbs of people talk about Detroit, and it's some parts of Detroit aren't very very pretty and very nice, but I can tell you the suburbs are among the most beautiful suburbs of any city in this country. I can assure you, and you'll enjoy it. So good luck to you guys, and we're proud of you. Thanks for being here.
All right. The next item is matters relating to transformation and school support. And we have Transformation, Teaching, and Learning Report, Committee Report. Dr. Noyola.
Thank you, Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, board members, senior team, and audience. At our regularly scheduled Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee meeting held last week on June 5th, 2018, we had 2 agenda items that were brought forward for discussion. The first agenda item was presented by Mr. Joseph Villarreal, our Assistant Superintendent for Secondary Education. His presentation was titled Discussing Semester Exam Exemptions. As part of his presentation, he explained that our Teachers of the Year were charged with researching and developing student attendance incentives. As part of his presentation, Mr. Villarreal proposed a list of basic eligibility requirements for our high school students in order to be able to be exempt from their semester exams. He reviewed some of that criteria for a minimum grade average plus the maximum number of course absences that would be used to determine eligibility. And he addressed a list of student responsibilities that students would have to undertake in order to be able to use this waiver on the exemptions. We anticipate that our students will be really excited, and good thing these kids left a little early because they're going to be missing out on this opportunity. But we think it'll really impact our attendance, and that was our goal, to find ways in which we could increase the attendance at our secondary levels. And so this will be going into implementation for our 2018-19 school year. The second presentation was brought forward by Lori Romero, our Assistant Superintendent for Elementary Education. She presented on preparing facilities for our Fine Arts Academy at Lee Means. So she spoke a little bit about the enrollment at Lee Means, citing that we actually have had such a tremendous response that we have close to 40 students that are on a waiting list, hoping to be able to be a part of this academy. But a big portion of her presentation was about how we will be transforming the facility to accommodate it for the changes that will be coming forward under this new concept. So she spoke a little bit about some of the changes that will happen to the exterior and interior of the campus, some of the schematic designs, some branding and artistic themes that will be going on. She shared some pictures that showed the proposed dance studio, some of the landscaping, some benches that will be put outside at the front of the facility, as well as some sculptures that will really highlight the change and transformation that will be happening at Lee Means Elementary into the Lee Means Fine Arts Academy. Dr. Perez chairs our Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee, and so he may have some additional comments to share.
Thank you, Dr. Noel. Just briefly, I just would like to commend you and the staff and Dr. Cavazos for the excellent format change in terms of the presentations. They were just succinct to the point, just told us what we needed to know, and then let the board have a great discussion. For those board members that weren't there, the discussion on the semester exam exemptions, while it may seem counterintuitive, I think that it's going to really increase student performance and achievement. I really do, because I think students are going to really want to, attend all the time, to increase attendance so that they can, have an exemption here and there from some of these courses where it's offered, and I think that's going to lead to better student achievement. I really do. Of course, Julio, I know, is grinning over there because he knows it's going to help the ADA and help us increase our funding, and that's also a phenomenal thing for the district. So, thank you very much for that presentation, and I think we're just, like anything else, like all these amazing things you present to this committee, we're really curious for follow-up down the road at the end, end of next year or whatever. So we really look forward to that as well. And just briefly on the Fine Arts Academy facility at Lee Means, gosh, how fast things are moving in this district, Dr. Cavazos, and it's just amazing. So the excitement that everybody has around this academy and around the other specialty schools is just palpable, and you can see that it's not only palpable in this district, but outside, with all the numbers of students coming from outside the district and that kind of stuff. And so it's just really exciting times right now. So I just want to make sure that we just, do the very best for these kids, and I know we will. And like I mentioned at the meeting that evening, just keep involving our high school kids as well. I think they're extra set of free teachers and role models for our students in the Fine Arts Academy there at Lee Means that I know that they're going to just love participating and helping out with whatever that we do. And again, I think it also goes back to the rigor of the learning and everything else. And I know we'll get that right as well. So great job. Really excited. We just can't wait to see it come to fruition. Thanks for the presentations. Thanks, Doc.
Okay, thank you. And I mean, it's amazing. I mean, every year you keep thinking that we're going to reach a plateau, but we keep going higher and higher. I mean, I think we really exemplify what you call a district of choice. I mean, the Lee Means Fine Arts Academy, the new STEM Academy. I mean, it's just, we keep growing and great opportunities. Thank you very much. The next item is matters related to business services and the internal audit quarterly report by Ms. Nellie Ledesma.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, members of the board, Dr. Cavazos, and senior staff members. The audit committee and I met earlier this afternoon and heard the following 11 reports. A special activity fund audit for Lamar Elementary, one for Wilson Elementary, and another for Long Elementary. An audit of HCISD car allowance standards, an audit of district mileage logs for the parental involvement department, a report on unannounced cash audits, a follow-up audit of state compliance of limited English proficient student records, a follow-up audit of state compliance of special education eligibility, an audit of bank reconciliations, a UIL student activities department athletic ticket sales and receipts, and an audit of time and effort documentation. These reports were discussed in depth with with members of the board and the superintendent, and I am here to answer any questions you all may have, unless Mr. Powers or Dr. Cavazos might like to elaborate on it.
I just want to add that it was a very, very thorough report, and again, the time that you spend in examining these different departments and keeping us abreast of what's going on and the detail work y'all do a first-class job, and thank you again.
Thank
So
you.
does anybody else have any comments?
Just, if I could, Mr. President, since I wasn't there, I apologize, but just real, this brief, just with, like, for example, with the Lamar, Wilson, and Long audits, were those sort of like a random, or were they direct?
No,
there was a purpose.
There was a
direct
change in principal or secretary.
Okay, I got you. Okay,
Mhm,
okay.
and those
okay.
are required to be done.
And then with
whenever-
all these audits, just to sort of, ask a question in terms of sharing of the information and things like that, the findings that you come out with each of these audits, I mean, I'm assuming that we're sharing those with all other, sort of pertinent personnel that could benefit from these
Right, either
audits,
the business
whether there was nothing found or not. I mean,
either
so
way.
so that way other principals can kind of sort of learn from other schools and other things like that. I mean, is that what's-
Most of these areas fall under the business office, so we
Okay.
usually we share it with them, and then they during their trainings, that's where they discuss some of these items, or we go in there in those trainings and also discuss some of these items that were found, just so that everyone can be abreast of them.
And I guess and I appreciate that, but I guess my point is, do the principals get pretty directly involved, or do they do they share the knowledge? Because I mean, at the end of the day, the business office needs the help and support, and the coordination, with the principal and the leader of that campus. I would, and others. I would assume, and others as well.
Well, we discuss it with the principals whenever we
Okay.
go through the audits. And then at those times, we also take opportunities to also, without mentioning names, just say, these are some things that we're finding at other campuses. Or these are some issues that, y'all need to work on or prevent, or things like that. We do mention other things that we're finding without mentioning specifics as to what campus it relates
Well,
to.
Nellie also provides a letter to the principals addressing any types of items that she found at that campus for that audit. So she does talk to the principals after the end of the audit.
Well, and I appreciate that. The only reason I mention this is because I have a newfound respect for folks who do audits. Being on the board of regents and being the chairman of the board now, TWU, I can't tell you how important these things are for the institution, and how many things have been found and other problems have been prevented and solved by the work that's done in these audits. And they serve a very important purpose. And if we don't share the knowledge with other individuals, pertinent individuals and folks that need to know, then we're, then perhaps we're missing out on the situation, and we can prevent other problems and that kind of stuff. And so, anyway, I applaud you for the great work that you do. And again, of course, our business office is just amazing. But there's always going to be things that we can do better and learn and things like that. And so anyway, so not to belabor the point, but great job, and thank you for what y'all do.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I kind of, I want to echo what Dr. Pettis is saying, and I kind of want to reach out to you as well, because it's a daunting task to audit the whole Harlingen Independent School District. And it's basically almost a one-man show. So our workshop is coming up our budget workshop is coming up pretty soon. And I think if you're needing some help, I think you need to formally ask the board, maybe reach out to the board president and superintendent and state the case of why you may need some additional help. If you're needing some help, no, I mean, that's up to you to make that determination. But I think if you reach out and you're formally requesting it, I think we don't take that lightly. There's only two positions that the board of school board oversees, which is you and the superintendent. And so we want to just ensure that if you're needing help, we need to know. We want to know. It's not a time to be shy. It's not a time to be humble. It's not a time to be quiet. It's a time to say, I need some help, and this is one of the reasons why I'm needing additional assistance, if you're needing it. But if there's a perfect time, it's kind of right now, because we're working on the budget. And like Dr. Pettis is saying, this is crucial. It's very important, and we always want to be proactive in everything that we do.
Right.
And as a result of that, if we're doing as much as we can, but it's limited because of the manpower, then we need to know that as well. So please reach out to our superintendent, and please reach out to maybe our board president if you're seeing we're needing some additional help on that. I'm kind of curious to see if that is the case.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Nellie.
Thank you.
Great job. Thank you so much. Okay, the next item is the consideration for approval to extend contract for financial auditing services. Mr. Julio Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 8B is consideration to extend the contract for external auditing services to CRI. Quentin Anderson provided us an engagement letter which is attached. Fees are comparable to last year. They range between $49,000 to $57,000. We recommend approval.
I'd like to hear from Quentin.
Yeah.
Mr. President, move approval to extend the contract for financial auditing services as presented.
Been moved by Dr. Pettis and seconded by Mr. De Leon. Thank you. That we approve the contract, extend the contract. Is there any further discussion? All right. If none, then we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. The next item is consideration for approval to award construction services contract for the HCISD civil site improvements at Milam, Bonham, and Travis Elementary, and Vernon Middle School, and Administration Annex CSP number CNSTO 618-2. Mr. Julio Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 8C is consideration approval for parking lot and drainage improvements at Milam, Bonham, Travis, and Vernon Middle School. Ranking committee met and ranked the 5 proposals we received. The committee is recommending the top rank offer of Peterson Construction at a cost of $178,791.64. We did discuss this at our facility committee meeting last week. We recommend approval.
Mr. President, I make a motion for approval to award the construction services contract for the HCISD civil site improvements at Milam, Bonham, Travis, Vernon Middle School, and Administrative Annex as presented by administration.
Second.
Motion is made by Mr. De Leon and seconded by Mr. Hymas. Is there any further discussion on this item? If there's none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, matters related to human services. Approval of revisions to Policy Update 110 on first reading and Policy ECI Local and FNG Local on first reading only. Dr. Noyola.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. We bring for your consideration and possible approval recommendations and revisions regarding Update 110 on first reading and policies EIC Local and FNG Local on first reading only. These policies were discussed at the Policy Audit Committee meeting held earlier this evening. Administration recommends approval on first reading for Update 110, and first reading only for the other policies. Mr. Powers opened the meeting earlier this evening, so if you may have something additional to share regarding our policy committee meeting.
I just think that the changes are really relevant and very beneficial to board members. I think they're an excellent idea, and I commend you and the superintendent and staff for bringing those forward. Is there any questions on any of the items, or, I mean, all right. If there's none, then I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve the revisions of policy update 110 on first reading and policy EIC local and FNG local on first reading only.
It's been moved by Dr. Reiniger,
Second motion.
seconded by Dr. Pettis. Is there any further discussion? If none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Item number 10, matters relating to district operations. The facility committee report, Mr. Julio Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Mr. Tapia is not here today, so I'm presenting the facility committee report. The facility committee met on Tuesday, June the 5th. Mr. Tapia gave an update on the TRE funded projects. We have several AC upgrades at several campuses. High school athletic track and artificial turf projects are on schedule. The Treasure Hills Wings addition is out for bids. Vernon Choir Hall and courtyard improvements are starting. He updated the committee on the multi-purpose wall panels. STEM Square Academy renovations is nearing completion. Mr. Powers chairs the committee. If you'd like to add anything else, Mr. Powers.
I'd just like to compliment, I'm sorry Oscar's not here tonight. I know he's on vacation, but his staff is doing an outstanding job. I mean, we're on schedule everywhere. Coach Creeders was here earlier this evening and was telling us that the practice field at Harlingen High School will be finished or the mini stadium will be finished probably around July 1st. Yep. And hopefully South will be finished within 2 weeks after that, in ample time for the 2-a-day workouts. He said everything's just going very smoothly. The STEM Academy, I mean, Kenny Lee and his group are just doing a great job. In fact, Dr. Cavazos, I'd like you to offer the board members a tour, which, in the next couple of weeks if it's available and convenient. But I think it's just incredible how fast they're moving. And we saw some photographs of the changes, and it really is going to be a nice, outstanding facility. So everything's moving along smoothly and just great progress. So thank you to the staff. All right, the next item on the agenda is the approval of school board standing committees for 2018-2019. I hope everybody's pleased. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion for approval.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. De Leon and seconded by Mr. Hymas to approve the standing committees for 2018-2019. Is there any discussion
I would just
or complaint?
Well, I would just entertain opportunity to sit during these committees instead of the standing committee. Let's make it a sitting committee, so we don't have to.
Well noted. Well noted. All right. All right. All right. If there's no further discussion, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Next item is 12, approval of campus assignments for board members for 2018-2019.
Mr. President, the 3 schools you gave me, I had them last year. Oh, no, I was looking last year's, I'm sorry.
I gave you 4, Javier.
Make a motion for approval of campus assignments for a 2018-19 school year.
All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Moved by Mr. De Leon, second by Dr. Reiniger. Let's move on. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. All right. The next item on the agenda is adjournment into closed or executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.075, 551.082 of the Open Meetings Act for the following purposes. A, to discuss employment of Assistant Superintendent for Human Services. B, discuss the employment of Director of Harlingen STEM Preparatory Academy. C, discuss employment of Principal for Ben Milam Elementary. D, discuss employment of teachers and other professional staff. At this time, we will adjourn into executive session.
Willie, what time did y'all, how long were y'all shopping?
Mr. Stubart, he's calling the meeting to order.
We are now back into regular session. The first item on our agenda is to consider the employment of the Assistant Superintendent for Human Services.
Mr. President, it gives me great pleasure to name Debbie Scoggin Assistant Superintendent for Human Services as recommended in executive session.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. Pettis and seconded by Mr. Hymas. Is there any discussion? We'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Unanimous, passes unanimously.
Now you're gonna get your name on the
I
thing.
know, to get the name,
It takes
shame.
it takes 4 weeks to get come in.
Take 4 weeks.
Item B, consider employment of Director of Harlingen STEM Preparatory Academy. Do I have a motion?
Mr. President, I make a motion for approval to consider the employment of Director of Harlingen STEM Square Preparatory Academy as recommended.
It's been moved by Mr. De Leon. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Reiniger. Any further discussion? We'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item number C, consider employment of principal for Ben Milam Elementary.
Mr. President, I make a motion to consider the employment of Principal Brenda McKinney for Principal of Ben Milam Elementary, as discussed in executive session.
Motion by Mr. Hymas. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by
Dr.
Dr. Reiniger. Any further discussion? We'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item D, consider employment of teachers and other professional staff.
I make a motion to move forward on the employment of teachers and other professional staff as recommended.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Reiniger, seconded by Mr. De Leon. Is there any further discussion? If there's no further discussion, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. We are adjourned.